Okay, hello and welcome. My name is Chris Maunder. I am the social media producer for PennLive.com, and we are very momentarily going to be talking with Dave Samuhel of Accuweather. We are going to be talking about the current cold snap that is roaming across all of Pennsylvania, and we're going to be talking about the upcoming forecast, how long the cold snap's going to last, and what about this nor'easter that's supposedly hitting New England. Is it going to come to Pennsylvania? As soon as he joins us, we will be talking to him. If you have a question for Dave Samuhel of Accuweather, please be sure to type it in the comments section. Once he is live and watching this feed, he will be joining us, and very momentarily, very shortly, and we will be talking with him. Again, we are going to be talking about the weather. We're going to be talking about the extreme cold temperatures that have hit most of Pennsylvania. We are going to be talking about how the weather is, how cold it's going to get. Oh, I see Dave here. So I'm going to... Dave, I don't know why I can't see you here. I can't add you. Oh, there you are. I'm adding him. Okay. So, Dave, in a minute, if you have a question about the weather, please be sure and type it in the comments. Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How have you been?
Good. How about you?
All right. So let's start with talking about how cold it's been here. I know this morning in Elizabethtown it was about 6 degrees. What's the cold? How cold has it been across the state so far for the past 2 days?
Well, it's been extremely cold. We've had mornings, even dating back to last week. I think somebody's were almost every morning. A couple of nights ago, parts of northern PA near 20 degrees below zero. But in my backyard this morning, it was 7 below zero. So it was a cold morning, to say the least.
And is this cold weather? Is this the norm for January? Of course, you think in January that it normally it's expected to get this cold. We're used to this kind of weather, but these kind of temps, are they the norm for this time of year, or is this an outlier?
No, this is definitely quite cold for this time of year. We're a solid 20 to 30 degrees below normal. Normally, we should have low temperatures across the state in the teens across western PA, lower to mid 20s across southeastern Pennsylvania. So we're way below what is average for this time of year.
What is causing all this really cold weather?
Well, we have an unusual setup that's allowed air masses from Siberia, from the North Pole, to just come southward. Usually we get a Pacific pattern to kind of push these air masses off to the east before they can come south out of Canada. But it just so happens that we had a north wind flow for a week straight, and we had what we call cross-polar flows, where we pull the air from Siberia across the North Pole and straight down through Canada into the U.S., and it has plunged all the way south, all the way to the Gulf Coast. It's remarkable how much of the country is impacted by this extreme cold air. In fact, it's the coldest air compared to normal across the entire the globe right now.
I was going to say, because this is not just affecting our region where we are here in the Harrisburg region, central PA. This is across the Keystone State, not just confined to South Central Pennsylvania.
You're exactly right. Everybody's dealing with the extreme cold out there. So while normal highs in Harrisburg, for example, are about 37 or 38, we've been about 15 to 20 degrees below those normals with highs in the upper teens, lower 20s. Meanwhile, in Northwest PA, normal highs are in the mid-20s. They've had some days where it stayed in the single digits all day. So it's the entire state dealing with
Now, how long is that supposed to stay? How long are we supposed to continue to have this kind of weather? When is it going to start to warm up?
I wish I had good news, but we'll have to deal with it getting worse before it gets better. There will be a really, really cold blast of air coming starting tomorrow and lasting through the weekend. But then it should get a lot better. However, we'll likely deal with some wintry weather as warmer air arrives early next week. So basically, we have dangerous cold coming our way starting tomorrow afternoon and lasting into the weekend.
Okay, and for those of you just joining us, for those of you watching, I'm talking here with Dave Samuhel of Accuweather. We're talking about the extreme cold that's been going on this week in Pennsylvania and elsewhere. Dave, what tips do you have for people for dealing with the cold weather? What should people? I'm seeing a couple comments in our feed here, people asking about, talking about worrying about their car, or worrying more importantly about their kids waiting on the bus corner for the bus, in the early mornings. What tips do you
Yeah.
have for families dealing with the cold?
Well, hopefully you have been stocked up on fuel oil and ways to heat your house. And now is not the time to try to skimp on power. You want to make sure you heat the areas where your pipes are. Maybe your basement you don't heat normally. Find a way to get some heat down there to keep pipes from freezing. As far as car batteries go, it's tough. It really hits car batteries this time of year. If they're weak or in older cars, they really get zapped. So for example, my car has had trouble the last few mornings, and I've been starting it every 12 hours just to make sure it turns over. So that's something tough to deal with, and we'll have to go through this for another few days before it finally returns to near normal. Also, when you're out and about, if you can dress in layers, try to cover up as much skin as possible, you can be outside and be comfortable. It's safe if you're outside dressed in layers, thermal underwear, a few shirts underneath your coat, certainly hat, gloves, scarf, and just cover up as much of that skin as you can.
Right. I'm just curious, are you seeing any of the schools around where you are, or any of the schools around here in PA having delayed days or even maybe canceling school because of the cold?
Yeah, a lot of school systems will do a 2-hour delay at the least for wind chills. They have their specific criteria. Usually, I think it's below zero. If there's a wind chill below zero, they'll have a delay. So it's basically a lot of the state has been dealing with these sub-zero wind chills, and it will only get worse again, especially Friday morning. I have a feeling some schools could just cancel Friday for the cold and the wind combination, because it will feel like it's 20 to 30 degrees below zero across the entire state Friday morning.
Mm. Well, when can we finally see these temperatures start to rise? What day can people circle on their calendar to say, here's when I don't have to be scared walking out my door in the morning to work?
We could hit 40 in Pittsburgh on Monday. It's probably going to be in the 30s that day in eastern Pennsylvania. So I'd say Monday. But the thing is, there's likely going to be precipitation. And even though it's warmer, it's probably still going to be cold enough for wintry weather. And it could be freezing rain, too. The ground's so cold, the air mass can warm up quickly aloft, but it struggles at the surface, especially frozen ground. So if you have any rain at your location on Monday, I would expect icy conditions. And just be careful on roads that look wet. They could be icy. That's Monday. I think, we have the storm, obviously, to deal with tonight and tomorrow. But after that, it's pretty dry until Monday.
Well, let's talk about that, because I'm seeing a lot of comments here. People want to know about snow. People are asking about if we can expect snow. And of course, I'm seeing people, we've reported on a northeaster up in New England, and there's a question of whether or not it's not expected to hit Pennsylvania at this point. But can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
What about this storm up north?
Yeah, there will be a storm. It's already forming. It's producing freezing rain in Florida, believe that or not. I don't remember too many instances of that happening, but snow is developing in southern Georgia, and it will spread up the coast, and it will snow in Pennsylvania from the storm. We will see snow in eastern Pennsylvania. Most of it will slide by east of the 81 corridor. I think on the 81 corridor, we're looking at coating to 1 inch of snow, more like 1 to 3 towards Allentown and Reading. Maybe a 3 to 6 inch snowfall for Philadelphia. So the further south and east you are in the state, the higher your chances of getting a impactful, significant snowfall are. And this storm is rapidly developing, so it could throw us a curveball. I could see how snow backs up further west across the state than expected. So that's something to watch. So it will be enough. We'll have to plow across the eastern third of the state, I would say.
Okay. What about Western PA? Will they be getting anything over the next week or so?
Well, out there, there will be an Arctic front crossing the area tomorrow. That'll bring snow showers and squalls. It will not be associated with the storm. That Arctic front will actually help really crank the storm up over New England after it passes through the state. But that will cause its own problems out there in the west, where obviously we don't want any more snow in Erie. They've had they had 120 some inches of snow in
Yeah.
December, but it looks like we'll have a little bit more with this Arctic front coming through. And then snow showers with the bitter cold as that front clears the state. So basically, the only place it doesn't look like it'll get much snow is for me here in State College, Pennsylvania. We always see these coastal storms go by to the east. So unfortunately for me, I mean, I like the snow, but I know most people don't. But
we have one commenter.
Yeah.
We have one commenter here asking when, just if you can reiterate, when is the storm going to start?
Okay, good. That's an excellent question. The time frame looks to be around or after midnight across most of the state. It'll be before dawn, yeah, between midnight and dawn across eastern Pennsylvania, where we're expecting the snow.
Okay. But and as far as Harrisburg goes, we're probably not going to see any of this at all.
I think there'll be some light snow in Harrisburg. It's
okay.
Harrisburg's on the western fringe, and sometimes the very western edge tries to act up. Thinking back to a storm we had a few weeks ago, where the very western edge turned into a pretty decent snow band and got a couple of inches. So yeah, I would say that's probably going to be the western edge of the snow, Harrisburg on towards northeast Pennsylvania, Scranton.
Are there any other storms you're looking at that you're tracking beyond that could be a problem for Pennsylvania and the central Pennsylvania region? Is there anything long term that you're looking at that could develop into something?
Yeah, it's an active pattern. With the warm air coming next week, it will bring moisture, and the fact it's so cold will likely have wintry weather, and it'll probably be a wintry mix. This one's easy. It's just snow. There's no any kinds of precipitation to worry about except snow with this one Thursday or tonight into Thursday. But early next week, we have a chance for ice, sleet, snow, rain, a little bit of everything, Monday and Tuesday.
When would that, what day, Monday, Tuesday?
Monday, Tuesday, yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't have a lot of details on the timing. It may not be until the afternoon in eastern Pennsylvania, but not real confident in that timing yet.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again as we get closer in the week to that.
Yep.
Although just before we wrap up here, I wanted to ask you just about now that we're into 2018 and looking back at 2017. What was that year like? How I think we tend to focus on the worst aspects of the weather and not necessarily always get a clear picture of overall what kind of a year it was weather-wise. Can you talk a little bit about what like 2017 was in terms of both extreme weather and just the overall pattern?
Yeah, it was. It had its up and downs. The winter was obviously pretty quiet. Excuse me. Battling a cold as many are this time of year.
Yeah, it's going around.
Need the cough button here. Sorry. But
that's all right.
Yeah, it started out a pretty nonchalant. The winter was obviously warm, and we did have a lot of snow in January and February. Then it got pretty warm through the spring and summer. It was a pretty nice summer for most. We had a lot of thunderstorms, not overly wet by any stretch. But excuse me. Yeah, so the weather pattern got really crazy towards the end of the year when we had the tropical storms and hurricanes out over the Atlantic. Right. We dodged a bullet for the most part from those, but yeah, it was a pretty up and down year. Pretty typical to see a lot of kind of crazy weather averaged out to be pretty close to normal. So,
okay, well, thank you for joining us, Dave. For those who are watching, We've been talking with Dave Samuhel of Accuweather. Be sure to pay attention to Accuweather and PennLive.com for all the latest weather forecasts. Dave, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again as the winter progresses.
Oh yeah, yep. This will not be the last winter storm. I can guarantee that.
And no, absolutely not. And everybody stay warm, okay? Thanks a lot, Dave.
All right, thank you, Chris. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye-bye.